Hello, and welcome to our final session for our Tinkercad and Microbit make code. We are, to recap a little bit, we have built out, I think, the base for our mini golf course. We have some obstacles, a 180-degree obstacle actually on there, which is getting far along. And today we're going to work a bit more on that course. And then we'll dive a bit more into the microbit section and look at pushing our light strip out and learn how to add some functionality into that cool little piece and maybe combine it with the servo that we were looking at before. So yeah, should be pretty fun, and we'll check things out. All right, so coming back out, I'm going to jump into, you know what, Ethan, since I'm in yours right now, I'm just going to jump into yours real quick. And Ethan, are you in your Tinkercad right now? Are you okay in there? And yeah, good. Okay. Just checking. I can see a little version of you up in the corner, by the way, so I can see you like actually physically as well. I'm just going to come into your screen. Give me 1 second to orient myself. I'm just going to click here, hit F, and I'm going to check your screen now. I don't know if did we test this? I don't think, no, I don't think we actually tested this, Ethan. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to open this screen up a little bit, and I'm going to move through a couple steps here. Just allow me to move some of your stuff around, and then we'll talk about what you can do. So give me 1 second here. I am going to ungroup this real quick because I know we group this whole thing together, and I'm going to move these two pieces a little bit, Ethan, down there. Okay, and that's all I'm going to do. And then what I'm going to do now is I am going to group it all back together. So give me 1 sec to do that. And I'm almost done. There we go. One color. Cool. All right. So let's check this out. So I'm going to bring this into, and you can do this too, Ethan. Obviously, we can do this at the same time. Let's bring this, click on your apple, your sim lab up in the top right corner there, the little apple. Click on that. And that will bring us into the sim lab, and you're no stranger to this. And we are going to try and get your piece to work here. Now, if you recall, Ethan, this piece right here, the bottom piece, this has to be static and not dynamic. Make sure this little part right here that I'm hovering over next to the light bulb is static. I'll let you do it. I'm not going to do it, but make sure that's static and you know what that does. Okay. This piece right here, your ball and your ramp, I'm going to move that over a little bit this way and back. I wonder if we're going to get enough speed. Let's see. I'm going to back this up just a little bit, and I'm going to bring it up, and I'm going to leave it about there. We're going to play test this and see if this works. So Ethan, it's static. That's awesome. This right here is also static, which is awesome, but your ball is dynamic. Yes, you can see it's dynamic, and it's made out of, what's your ball made out of? Oh, it's made out of ice. Okay, perfect. Well, that's going to slide pretty well, isn't it? All right, so let's come up here. I'm going to get myself in a better position, and let's run it. So Ethan, you can click play on yours. I'm going to click play on mine, and let's see how this goes. Ooh, it didn't get up the ramp. Okay, so we've got a little bit of an issue. So it like fired out, but it didn't go anywhere. It literally went like up the ramp and then went back down. So to solve our problem, Ethan, we could do two things. One thing I would suggest we do is we lengthen your ramp, because your ramp is very short right now. It doesn't have a lot of, it can't really pick up any speed. So you can click on your ramp. Well, let's come back into, Ethan, let's come back into the, this part up here, the regular Tinkercad. I want you to click on your ramp, and I'm just going to rotate it. Hold on, I'm just going to rotate your ramp down a little bit. And Ethan, I just want you to grab this black square right here and pull your ramp and make it longer. So just, you can kind of see where I'm pointing at right here. This little black square right here. So remember, don't grab the white squares. They are, they'll alter the shape of it. So grab the black square and pull back this way. And when you do that, you get yourself in the right position, this will lengthen your ramp out and give us a little more length to work with. And once we lengthen it out, then we can start talking about maybe gathering some more speed for there you go. Awesome. Keep going. Keep going. Pull it a little bit more. Pull it out a little more. You got it. And what I'm going to do while you're doing that, I'm going to grab your ball right here and I am going to move it. And I'm going to try and do this. I know this is a bit finicky. I'm going to move your ball right to there. Okay, now do you see how much more length we have on our ramp, which is going to give us so much more momentum to get up the ramp here. So this is looking pretty good. I'm just going to, Ethan, so what you want to do now is you want to highlight both pieces. So you want to highlight like everything, and I want you to rotate your ramp using this little guy right here, this double arrow right here. And I want you to rotate your ramp 22.5 degrees. And that's just one click to the right. All right. So again, highlight both pieces using the bounding box, like highlight both pieces. And you can see it has two shapes up here. We've done this part before. And I want you to grab here and I want you to click forward one. And that will rotate your entire ramp up 22.5 degrees. And if we need more, then we'll go 45 degrees. But we'll try 22.5 to start out. Joel, while Ethan is working on this, how are you doing? You okay? You can just give me a thumbs up or say okay. Oh yeah, Ethan, so grab this part right here. You can see I'm hovering over top. It's these double arrows right here, right there over top of your ramp. And then just rotate those, click and pull those forward. And that will rotate your entire ramp 22.5 degrees or 45 degrees. Okay, Ethan, very close. I'm going to bring the ball up for you, okay? You're going to want the ball up, and then that's perfect. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to raise this up just a little bit to there. Okay, I think we're good, Ethan. So let's jump back into our simulation, and let's see if we've got some more speed this time. All right, I'm going to click play. There we go. We got more speed. Not quite enough speed though. It's like stopped like right there. So what we're going to do is I threw a football in it. You can toss things in, and I don't ask me the reason why. It's an anvil and a pumpkin. It just does that. So click reset. Let's grab our piece and let's rotate it. I'm going to rotate your piece up like a little bit farther, and I'm going to bring it up a little bit higher. And let's see if this gives us a bit more velocity. All right, let's try that. Let's see what we get. Good, good. Oof. It's going, like it's getting to here. It's farther than it was before. Before it was right here. But let's try that again. I think we might even have to like raise this thing up more and then angle it even more. Oof, I don't know how much I want to angle it though. Okay, let's try that. Close. Oh, it's like stopping right there. So if we're getting, Ethan, in your application here, like what we're getting is it's only getting to this point right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to, I think what we might want to do is we can tilt these little blocks down a little bit. So let's go and do that together. So let's come back here. Let's come back to your workspace. I'm going to ungroup your thing here just a couple times. Hold on. And what I want you to do is I want you to come in, and these blocks right here, you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks. I want you to click on them. Click on this one, actually, not this one. Click on this one right here. And I want you to rotate it, just come up and rotate it just a little bit down. I'm going to let you do that. So click on it and rotate it down just a little bit, a couple degrees. So this block right here, this block right here, and this block right here, you can rotate those ones just a little bit. And if you remember, Ethan, to rotate things a little bit, we click them and then we click on the double arrow here, but we pull out of the circle and we can rotate very, very small. If you rotate in the circle, you get this huge chunky rotation, which is not ideal for what we're trying to do. Okay, I'm actually gonna move your, let's move this down a little bit too. There we go. Okay, so let's just try that out, Ethan. So click here, try and do the rotations right here. You can see I'm hovering over it right here. And then your other rotation is right here. It's right on the side. And your final rotation is right here on the side. So you've got 3 different rotations. So work on this one first and then come up. I'm going to let you do that. I'm going to come back out and I'm going to go over to Joel. And I'm going to see how Joel's doing. Okay, good. Okay, Joel, so yours is looking pretty good. What I think you want to do here with these little side pieces, these little wall pieces, is let's ungroup it and let's grab our wall pieces and kind of attach them in. I'm going to get rid of this wall piece for you, Joel. Okay. And we're just going to rotate them a little bit. This will help your ball like rotate around. So I'm going to bring out another one here, Joel. And I'll let you take care of this in a minute. I'm just going to bring out the first couple ones for you, and then I'm going to let you do the rest. I think you're rotating them, so I'm not going to. I'll get rid of that one. I'll let you do the rest of this, Joel. You can do this part. You're also going to want to group this to this, and that will give you your hole. Anyway, I'm going to come out, and I'll let you. Joel, don't use another big square. Use this one. Use this one, and just duplicate it. Like copy it and bring it out. You don't need to use a whole new square. Yeah, there you go. You got it. And Joel, also you can turn your snap grid off down here if you don't want it to snap like that. But that's up to you. That is totally personal preference, and I'll let you play around in there with that. Okay, I'm gonna come back. And Ethan, I'm just gonna come back into yours real quick and see how you're doing. Good. Yes, that's awesome. Now, I think probably we've got a bit of a top piece like hanging out here, but that's okay. I think this looks pretty good actually. What I'm going to do is I'm going to help you with this piece right here. I'm going to remove this piece. So I'm just going to put a block over it, and then I'm going to group it, and that'll cut, or it should cut, that top piece off. Did it cut it? Oh, I know I didn't cut it. Sorry, that was my bad. This piece and this piece. I'm going to group them, and there we go. That should flatten that out. This looks really good. Let's, Ethan, go back. Let's group this all together again, and let's see if we get a better result than we did last time. So highlight everything, Ethan, except for this, and then click the group button right here on the top. So there's your group button right there, and that'll group all of your pieces together and make everything nice and easy into one piece that you can test it out on. So just come over the top, click up here, drag, pull around, and you can see that nice bounding box, that red kind of square, release, and it should say like 16 shapes or something like that, like a high number of shapes because you've highlighted all of those shapes together. And then click your group button up in the top, Control G if you're feeling fancy, but you can always just click the group button and that will group all of those pieces together for you. I'll let you do that. Okay, so in a sec here, I'm going to go back into, I actually really want to see, yours work, Ethan. I know, I feel like it's like a mission now. Awesome. Yes, that's perfect. Okay, perfect. So let's click on your apple. And let's try this again. So I'm just you can try it on your, make sure you make this static, Ethan. The whole piece has to be static. Otherwise it'll like move around. So click on this little rolling ball over here. Make sure you click on the big yellow piece, click on the rolling ball, and that will lock our design and it'll make sure it doesn't wobble around. And I'm just gonna click play. Let's see what we get. Ooh, all right. Now our ball's moving too fast. I love it. Okay, so let's, I'm going to make this a little bit not so steep. I'm going to lower it down for you, okay? Just a tiny bit. Let's try this again. Oh my goodness. Oh, we're like, look at Ethan. Is literally like right there. It's so close. So I am not going to do any more. I'm going to let you figure the rest of this out. What I might do is angle this up a little bit more, or you could or you could lower this down a bit more. You are literally, look, you are see, yeah, now it's playing it a little bit differently because of the physics, right? But I was like, oh, it's close. I'm going to move it. You know what? I'm going to move this over. Oh. Okay, this way. Sorry, Ethan. I am just like, now I'm like, I want to get it right. So let's see. I'm going to come up a little bit like that. This stuff is really finessing it. I think it moved a little bit, didn't it? It's kind of, what we could do, Ethan, is we could put walls here because you can see that it's like hitting here and it's like falling off. So Ethan, what you could do is coming into your design over here, you could add small walls here and here because you can see it's like hitting the corner and it's kind of bouncing off. If you put a small wall here, Ethan, and a small wall here, I'll bet you it won't bounce off. And I'm just gonna, you can go ahead and do that, Ethan. I'm gonna come into here and I'm gonna see if I can get the angle a little bit. This is a difficult one, Ethan. I like the idea of the challenge here. Oh, how is that possible? That's not, no. Oh man, you know what, Ethan? Make that hole bigger. Oh no, that is just not. I think it like literally skips over top of it. Yeah, it. It's like a game, Ethan. It's like a game where they're cheating us, where it's like someone's pushing it out of the hole when it goes over top of it. That's literally what it's doing there. Oh, Ethan, here's an idea. Here's an idea. Change your material. Try changing your material to like concrete or steel or wood, and that might slow down the ball. And then the ball will not roll so fast. So click on the ball, click on the material here, and then change the material to a different material because a different material will have different friction. It'll have different friction, different restitution, and different density. So that will play on the physics inside of your piece here. So try that out and see if you change your material there, Ethan. So just click on the ball right here. I'll just show you again. Click on the ball, and then there's the material. I'm hovering over it right now. And you can click on that and change that material to something totally different. Yeah. So let's see. I'm going to come back out. There's the friction on the ice. Yeah, ice probably doesn't have much friction. It's like very, very, very low. Okay, so I'm going to let you figure that out and I'll come out. I've been really going into yours a lot, Ethan. I'm sorry. It's yours is an interesting challenge I've never had before. So I'm actually going to come into mine and tell me if you do get that. Just give me like a thumbs up in the chat or tell me you got it, and I will come in and check it out for you. Okay, I'm going to come back to my design. I think mine, oh, I cheated a little bit. I put my ramp closer up to the side here so it would actually like go around. So both of yours is probably a little bit more realistic than mine. Okay, so let me just check real quick here. I want to make sure everybody's caught up and in the same place. Maker 2, design. Joel. I think Joel's yours. Oh, nice. Joel, I'm going to try yours out actually, Joel, if you don't mind. Let's click here. Oh, what's yours made out of? It's all ice. Okay, so it bounces, but it doesn't hit. So what I would do here, Joel, first is I would ungroup this because you don't want it all grouped together. I would have it, and I'm just going to keep ungrouping it. So this piece right here is separate. You don't want this piece attached to anything else. So I'm just going to move this out. Now this whole piece, you can totally group it. That is good. But you don't want to group this guy because this guy is, you want to be able to move it around and adjust it, right? So let's bring this down a little bit. Let's bring this over and like that and up. And I'm just going to try this again. I think I'm going to lower your ramp a bit, Joel, just because just because it's moving very quickly. So I just want to slow down the rate that it moves at, and then let's see what we can get. So I'm gonna click here, and let's make sure that is dynamic. Let's make sure that is set, and let's click play now. Okay, it kind of drops out of the air. So with yours, let's reset this. And I am going to move this forward, move this down. And I'm going to move your ball, this guy, over a little bit. And then I'm going to bring it up a tiny bit. And then I'm going to alter it so it's down a little bit like that. And I'll move your whole design over. There we go. And give me 1 second. I'm going to try and run that again. Close. We're close, getting closer. It's going to alter it so it's going tilting up a bit more. Coming up. Here we go. And let's try that again. Oof. This one's a little harder than I thought. Go down a bit more. Bring it up. Oh, close. You can see I'm getting closer already, right? But I will, let's go try one more, Joel. I'm going to try one more thing here. Up and up. Ooh, I made it too high. Anyway, I'm going to let you play with that. I'm not going to keep playing with yours because I want you to try it out yourself. And Ethan, I'm going to go back into yours real quick, and then we'll move on to the next part here. So let's see. Okay, so, oh, nice. You moved yours up. Good idea. So let's see here. Does this, let's see if yours runs. Oh, you're close. The ball drops off the back right there. So what you want to do is that ball, you want to move it forward a little bit. So there you go. Oh, it's still falling off the back. I wonder why. Let's see here. Why is the ball falling off the back? Let's reset that. And I think the ball is because it's pushed in. So let's see. Might have to put it up a little bit, and let's try it that way. It looks to me like the ball is like floating on something. Let's reset this. So the ball is like floating on something here. I'm not exactly sure what it is. So if I hit play, it like floats along the top of your design for some reason. Let's try this out. I'm going to change your ball from that to ice again. I'm going to click play. And it's like hitting something invisible that I can't see. Let me go back out. I'm not sure quite why it's doing that. So this looks good here. Everything's fine here. Everything's fine here. I wouldn't group this all together though. So I'm just going to ungroup real quick, and then you want this grouped separately. And I'm going to back it up a little bit for you. Actually, I'm going to bring it to here, Ethan. And I'm bring it up. And let's try this again. So I'm going to go back into the thing, and let's click play. Oh, you know what? I didn't set this as static, so that's the problem. Ooh, we're so close, Ethan. I'm going to lower this a tiny bit this way. Let's try it again. Oh, so hard to get it perfect. Okay, let's try this one more time. And let's try that. Oh, literally on the edge. Okay, so Ethan, with yours, what I'm going to do is let's make the hole a little bigger because it is literally on the edge right there. And so I'm going to drag in a cylinder right here, and we're going to put it like on top. We're going to shrink it a tiny bit, and we're just going to push the cylinder in and group it. And that's going to give us a larger hole. So yeah, we'll just do it that way. It's all good. Let's click play. Still a little bit too fast. I don't know why it keeps on changing the speed it's going at, but that's okay. There we go, like that. I think every time I come in, it changes how it's Oh, it's moving. So let's put that down a little bit more here. There we go. Oh, I think because this is moving. Yeah, that's why. Oh man. Okay. Let's see if we make that whole thing out of ice, if that changes it. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's in. All right, so let's come back out. Hold on, Ethan. I'm going to come out of yours. I'm going to come back out this way. This one took a long time, actually. It's a difficult one. So let's come back here. I'm going to come back to my designs, and I am on this one. And what we're going to do is we're going to raise it. So we're going to raise our entire piece off the ground. So what I want you to do is highlight everything. So just click and highlight your entire course that you've made, and then use this arrow and pull it off the ground. You can see it like lifts the entire piece off the ground. And if you hit F, it will focus back on the piece that you've lifted off the ground. So I'll do that one more time. So just use your bounding box. So grab everything. There's a black arrow on the top right here. Click and pull, and you pull your entire piece off the ground. Don't put it below, bring it up high. Like put it like, mine is, if you look over here, mine's 74 millimeters off of the ground. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now, so we've got our piece up here, like in the air. You can see it's hanging up in the air. What you do notice is we don't have a lot of room. Like our work plane is pretty small. So what we can do is we can increase the size of our work plane. So if you come down to snap grid, or sorry, settings, way down on the bottom down here, if you click on settings, there is a width and a length. So if you click on the width and you delete it, and let's double it. So let's make our width 400, and let's make our length 400. Okay, and just hit enter. Once you've put your width at 400 and your length at 400, you click X, and you'll notice that your work plane that you're working on is much, much larger now. So what you can do is you can take your big kind of piece that you've been working on here, and you can kind of push it over kind of up into the corner up here like that. And remember, hit F on your keyboard, or you can click this little button below the house to focus on your work that you're doing. I always hit F all the time to refocus where I'm looking, because it's an easy way for me to move around. So again, this little square here, right, is a great way to refocus on your work. Okay, so once you have it up in the air and you're all set to go, what we're going to do is we're going to create some pillars underneath it, because this is kind of suspended in the air and it's not really very realistic. So over here, if you recall, we used this ghost cylinder before to make the hole for our mini golf course. We're going to use the regular cylinder, which is this orange one right here. So just pull that out, and you can put it anywhere on your screen. You can hit F, it'll like focus in on it, or hit this little button right here. You can change the color to whatever you want. I'm going to make mine like a purple. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit so I can see it a little bit better. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this cylinder as like supports for my course. So I'm going to put one here. I'm going to lower it a little bit. You can see it's making like a big kind of, it's like a pier, I guess, like a large log that's going to hold up the four corners of my design. Now it's a bit big. I don't think it needs to be that big. So what you can do is click on the bottom. You'll notice that the dimensions of it are 20 millimeters in diameter. So you can probably half that. So you can click on the 20, you can type in 10, you can click on the 20 and you can type in 10, and that will make your cylinder much smaller and easier to kind of maneuver around. If you don't want to type in any numbers, you can just grab it and hold down shift, and you can like size it to about 10. It doesn't have to be exactly 10, 9, 11, 12, whatever it is. Just make it a little bit smaller so it's not such a large cylinder. Okay. All right. So Once you've got that cylinder kind of in place, and remember, it should be in the corner, one of your 4 corners on your design. Doesn't matter which corner it's in, but just put it on one of those corners. Copy it. So come over next to the trash can, and there's your copy button, or I guess not copy button, your duplicate button. If you click on the duplicate button, you can bring out another one. So there's your copy. And put the other copy at the other corner. So you can see I've got one at this corner, and I've got one over at this corner. And if you guessed what's going to happen next, we're going to place these two at these 2 corners here. Now, to talk about how we would do this, I mean, we could copy it. We could be like, okay, and bring it out and put it over here if you want to. But actually, there's an easier way to do this. We don't have to bring out a copy and put it over here. We can copy both of these, so we have exactly the same length between them, and we can push those copies over to the other end of our design. Okay, so before I do this, though, I'm just going to come in and see how everyone's doing. So give me a second, because I can't tell how you're doing unless I go into your design, right? Okay. Okay, so Joel, you're here. Ethan, yours is warming up. Good, yes. I can see yours, Ethan. Yours looks good. Joel, how are we doing here? I'm going to come in and help you out a little bit. So Joel, I need to bring this off the ground, okay? Bring it up. Yeah. Oh, sorry. It's missing this bottom piece right here. So you definitely want to bring that up with you. Okay, bring the ball up too, Joel. The ball is behind. You left the ball behind. See how the ball's down there? I'm hovering over the ball right now. You can see it. It's right here. There you go. Now, Joel, you want to bring out the cylinders. These guys right here. You can actually make this higher, Joel. Put it up here. And Joel, you want to make your work plane much larger. Okay. Come into settings. You want to make it 400, and I'll do it for you. Okay. 400 by 400. There you go. That's going to give you more room to work, Joel. And then click on this one and bring this cylinder. Yeah. And Joel, change the size of your cylinder to 10 by 10. 20 by 20 is a little bit too large. Okay. I'll come back out. And let's see if Ethan is probably moving ahead on this. I'm just going to hover over his design. I'll let it load. Oh, Ethan, you're done. Okay. All right. Nice. And I'll show you what I was going to do there. Give me 1 second. I'll show you the technique I was going to use. It depends what technique you use, but what you can do is you can click on one piece, and if you hold down Shift and click on the second piece, that highlights both pieces. Or you can hover over both pieces with the bounding box. That also selects 2 pieces. And what you can do is you can copy, and you can just bring out the 2 pieces. So that keeps the 2 pieces at the same length from each other, rather than doing them individually. Anyway, that is just another way to do it. I don't know how you did it, Ethan, there, but I just wanted to show you another way to do it. So this is looking good. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to introduce something brand new, and those are called channels. And what channels are like, well, they're channels. I don't know any other way to describe them. So if you click on if you come over to the side over here where you have all of your shapes, and if this isn't open, by the way, you can click the little arrow and it will open it up. You click on the little magnifying glass and you type in channels or channels. Yeah. So if you type in channels, it will find channels for you. Now, the beautiful thing about channels is they have, we've been doing this the hard way, but because I want you to learn how to manipulate objects and move them around, that's important. But channels make it a little bit easier for us to do things. So what I always do when I grab a channel is I pull them out. So I'm going to grab this one. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to grab this bumpy kind of, the one that's kind of like a bump. I'm going to put it there. I'm going to grab the crazy one, which is like this swirl one. I'm going to put it here. And then I'm going to grab just one of these regular channels, which are these ones. You don't need to bring them all out. I'm just going to bring these 4 because it gives me 1, 2, 3, 4 different 4 different types of channels. And each one I can use multiple times in my design. Okay. So now, when you look at the channels, they're awesome, but they're way too big. Like, I mean, you could use them, but they're just a little bit large because look how small our mini golf like sphere is, and look at the size of the channel. So what I would do is let's start with the simplest one, which is this one right here. Bring it out, and you kind of want to move it underneath, and we want to get their channel underneath where our hole is right here. Now you're probably like, well, how do I even know where it is? You can lift it up with the arrow, and you'll notice there's a shadow down here. I don't know if you've noticed this, but there's a shadow on the bottom, and you can kind of look around a different direction, and you can put the shadow, and notice how the shadow blocks out the hole. So there's the sunlight coming through the hole. You can use your arrow keys on your keyboard. If you don't want to use your mouse, you can use the arrow keys on the keyboard to move the piece around until you get it kind of right. So I'm just kind of looking at mine from different angles. Always, always, always move around different angles. And you can always hit the focus key to focus in on it. The focus key is right below the home. And you can look at it from this angle. Now, if I'm looking at it here, I'm like, well, that's okay, but it's kind of low. It's like really, really far down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the black arrow. Okay, I'm going to bring it up higher. And I'm going to hit F. Remember, F is your friend for focusing. And you bring it up higher, and it will come closer to the hole. Now, you don't want to push it like right through the hole, through the top. But, you know, like right around here is pretty good. So like that. All right, so once I've got it like in a good spot, I am going to extend my channel, or I'm going to move my channel and make it bigger. So I'm going to come into the channel, hit F. Remember, F is your friend for doing most things. And you can grab the end of the channel, which is this black square, and you can pull the channel out to make it longer. So make it longer, or at least long enough so it comes out the other side of your tabletop here. So like, I don't know, about there's not bad. You can make it longer or shorter, doesn't matter. Once you've got it like out about that far, you'll notice our channel is very flat. So if we were to drop our ball and it was to roll around, it would hit the channel and it would literally sit there and it wouldn't go anywhere. So what we want to do is our channel, and you've probably seen this before, has these little double arrows for rotations. So what you want to do is you want to click on your channel, hover over the rotation, this rotation. Remember, there are 1, 2, 3 rotations. You can kind of see this one, it's on the bottom. But you want to grab this rotation, and you want to angle it just a little bit by like -5 degrees or -4 degrees or -3 degrees or whatever. Don't angle it like crazy -41. That's way too far. I would only angle it by like -4 degrees around there. Okay. And that way, when the ball drops into the channel, it will roll down the channel simply because of gravity, because of the angle it's at. So once you've got that set up, you'll probably notice that your channel is not very realistic. And realism is not that this whole thing is totally realistic, but it's good to have some realism. So what you can do is grab your pillar, and you can just put a pillar below the channel to kind of hold it up in the air. You can just copy a pillar here, and you can take the pillars and you can just kind of put them, so, oops, that pillar's a bit sticking out a bit. You can put them so they're kind of holding up the channel. So it's looking a bit more realistic, right? Not totally, although that's not very realistic, is it? It's kind of sticking, my pillar's sticking out the side. So I'll put my pillar underneath. And remember, you can use your arrow keys on your keyboard. If you don't like using the mouse, if you're finding the mouse is too difficult or hard to use, you can always use the arrows. Okay, I am going to, and this part's kind of important, you want to group as much as you can in your design, because if you don't, then when you go into the simulation, you're going to have to make like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things static. So I'm going to group all of my pillars together so they are one piece. So I'm going to click on one pillar. I'm going to hold down Shift on my keyboard. 2 pillars, I'm holding Shift. 3 pillars, I'm still holding Shift. 4 pillars. I'm still holding shift, 5 and 6. And you'll notice I have 6 shapes highlighted over on the right-hand side here. You'll know that you've got 6 shapes when it says it up on the top. Then I'm going to group it. And that, check this out, that groups all of these shapes together, which will make our life a little bit easier. Now what you can do is you can, now that you've got these 6 shapes grouped together, you can hold down shift and you can click the top piece and you can group it to that. So you have everything grouped together. So now this whole thing sits as one big group, which the reason we're doing that is because it makes it a little bit easier when we bring it into the simulation lab. Okay, mine's kind of set up. It's not totally ready to go, but I'm going to test the sim before I do anything else. So I'm going to click on the apple. I'm going to click on my my big piece here, my mini golf top, and I'm going to make it static by clicking on it here. And then what else do I need to do? I think that's it. So I'm just going to click play on. No, actually, I need to make this static too. Sorry. I need to make my channel static. So I'm going to click on there. My channel is now static. And I'm going to click play. So let's go. So it rolls down, comes around. Is it coming down? Oh, it is. Good. Oh, it's so slow though. And there it is. Nice. I've added kind of an extra tiny little component onto mine. It actually comes around. So I'm just going to reset that. And I'm going to come out of that. And you can see from here, you can start adding in some other pieces. So you can start adding corners into it. So you could bring like a corner up, bring it over. It just takes a little bit of finesse to get it right. Like that-ish. You got to move. You might have to move your camera around a little bit. You can see, you can start to connect different channels onto each other. And you can duplicate them. So for example, maybe I want this corner to keep going around. I can click it and keep bringing it. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I am going to keep building some of these corners out. So let me duplicate that one. 2, 3. There we go. This one, channel is coming back. And what could I do with this one now? Okay. I could bring this one over. Bring this up. And snap, snap, snap. This is, with this part, it's best if you set your snap grid as 1 mil, because that will allow you to kind of connect them together a little bit better. Let's see. Ooh, I don't think I did a great job on that one. So let's see. I'm going to have to make this a bit lower. Like that. And I'm going to use my arrow keys. There we go. So you can see here, it's not perfect because I guess my pillars are sticking through the sides, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter. I'm actually going to see how this rolls, and I'm going to put one more. I'm going to put this one at the bottom. I don't know if it'll go over that bump or not, but I'm just going to add it in there to see if it works or not. So let's bring that up. Bring that in, over, and use my arrow to bring it up. I feel like that is not going to be fast enough to go over that. So maybe what I'll do is I'm just going to squish that so it's not quite such a big bump for it to go over. Anyway, I'll try that out. So I'm going to group these all together. Remember, grouping is your friend because means less work in the long run. So I'm going to group all of my channels into one channel. So now this piece is literally one giant channel like that. And I think since I'm happy with my my mini golf top, I'm going to group my channels into my mini golf top. So I'm going to group these things together. So my whole entire thing, I have an extra board here for some reason. I don't know why. Why is that? Okay. I have a weird extra board under the bottom. And the reason for that is I think we were initially building joists. under the bottom of our design, and I don't think I extended the joists when I extended the top of my piece. So that's okay. I'm not really worried about that. Not a big deal. Okay, so let me come out. I am going to come into my simulation. I might have to re-static this. Yeah. And then I'm just going to click play and see how my simulation goes. So down it comes around. Mine is very slow, but it does move. Close, 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 down. And there it is. You can see there's my ball. Comes around. Does it get stuck here? No. The momentum is keeping it going. There it goes. I'm guessing there it goes, coming down. And nice. I actually got mine all the way around. Not bad. Okay, so I'm going to leave that for a second. I'm just going to reset that, and I'll come back out to see how everyone's doing. Here we go to guess it has to load. Yeah, mine's taking a while to load. Hold on, I might have to refresh my browser. There we go. Cool. All right, Ethan, you're getting it right there. I can see you're building that. And Joel, how are you doing here? I'll come into yours, Joel. Okay, good. So Joel, start by bringing, well, you can use that if you want, but bring that up and to this point right here, right underneath that hole right there. So bring this over and yeah, just bring it over a little bit. There you go. Perfect. And I think it'll drop, actually, Joel, I think it'll drop right into that corkscrew. Maybe, Joel, move this up a little bit more, like make it a little higher. So it's like really close. Yeah, even higher than that. You can see if I zoom way in, like right here, Joel, you can see, and I'm gonna change my angle. Is it gonna go into the hole right there? I'm just trying to figure out. I think you might have to move this a little bit this way. Oh, you know what you can do? Here's a good idea, Joel. Click on this, click on solid, and make it transparent, and then you can see through it. See that? That way you can see through it, and you can move your. I would move this piece. This piece has to be moved to the. Yeah, there you go. A little bit more. One more. There, back a little bit, like back to the. Yeah, that is bang on. I think that's gonna hit it. Yeah, that'll hit it perfectly. I forgot about the glass, so you could look through it. I should have mentioned that before. Actually, that looks really good. And then good, Joel. And then you're gonna have. You can continue. Actually, you can use this piece, Joel, and you could bring it so it would actually come down here, and it would curve off to the. What is that? That's my right, my left, my right. So it would curve off this way. Okay, I will come out, Joel. I'll leave you alone. And Ethan, I'm just going to come in and see how you're doing. Nice. Looks good. Okay, so I'll help you a little bit with this piece right here. So let's rotate this around this way. And I'm just going to bring this up a little bit. And I'm going to rotate it a little bit more. You can just see what I'm doing here. I'm going to actually close this up so you can see what I'm doing really clearly. And I'll open it up here. And then I'm going to rotate this just a little bit. And you can see by the angle, I think right here, if we leave it like this, hold on one sec. I think it'll jump. I think it'll jump over this gap and it'll go down and around Ethan. It might, I wonder if it's going to get caught right here though. We can move this out a little bit to make sure it doesn't get caught. There we go. That should be good. And then Ethan, on the bottom here, you can always grab one of these, or you can go into channels, and I'll just go into channels again. Channel. And you can grab another channel, one of these guys, and you can kind of put it, you can see what I'm doing here. you can grab it, you can put it close to this part right here. You can just move it over using your arrow keys. You can grab it using the up key. You can pull it up, move it around, and then get it close so it kind of goes around this area right here. Now, is your ball up here? I think your ball's on the ground down here. Hold on. There is your ball. I'm going to grab your ball for you, and I'm going to put it in the correct spot. Hold on 1 second here. I'll get this in this right spot for you. So bring that over here. And I don't know if that's totally correct. Let's see. I think that should be good. I'm going to lower it. There you go. That should be pretty good, Ethan. Okay. Yeah, that should run. I think that'll run. Okay, so Ethan, what I want you to work on is this part here, bringing it over and trying to connect it to this part here. So you can just grab it with the mouse, or you can use your arrow keys on your keyboard, whichever one's more comfortable for you. And you can move this piece right here and try and connect it to this piece right here. What I would do is look at it from different angles. So be like, okay, can I look at it from the bottom? Can I look at it from the top? Can I look at it from the side? And always, always, always be changing your angles. There you go. That's awesome. That looks really good. Now use the black arrow right here and pull it up a little bit. See that little black arrow? Click on that. There you go. Awesome. Now move it just a little bit. It's very close. You can see it's very close. You can use your arrow keys if you want on the keyboard, or you can grab it with your mouse and push it in. There you go. Oh, so close. So what you can do here, yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Yes, that'll work. Just, yeah, that's awesome. Now what you can do, Ethan, is you can grab the end, you can extend it, you can make it longer or shorter, or you can make a copy. So you can click on copy, and you can make a copy and pull it out and extend it that way too, or whatever you want. You can play around with that and have some fun with it. Okay, I'll let you mess around with that. That's looking really good, by the way. I'm going to close this up, and I'm going to come back to my design. Both doing really well here. So where was I? Right here. Okay. Now, since we've got like a lot of our design, the hard part kind of done. The hard part, like we've been doing some really hard stuff here, like trying to get the design so the ball moves along a path. It's not easy to do. I mean, anyone can build in Tinkercad, but actually getting something to work with the physics is not an easy task. So what I would suggest now, once you've got it so the ball comes all the way down, and you can continue on building this way and do whatever you like. Inside the side here where it says basic shapes, you have creatures and characters, you have vehicles and machinery, and you have structures and scenery. You actually have everyday objects down here. So what you can do is you can click on any of these. For example, this is the creatures and characters portion, and you can start adding stuff into your design. Like, for example, let's say I like this head, this like block head here. I can grab it. And you know, if you remember, mini golfs always have all kinds of strange stuff in them, right? I can grab this block head, I can shrink him down, make him smaller, and I can put him just as like a design that my ball goes around here. Because half the fun of mini golf is kind of designing the theme for the park, right? So you can see I just got that little head kind of sitting there like that. Now you have tons of stuff. You can click on more shapes. There are elephants, there are frogs, there are wings, there are fish. I mean, it goes on and on. There is really no end to it. So if you want to do an animal theme one, that would be pretty easy. I'm going to put a crown actually on my the head of my little guy here. So grab that. That's pretty cool, actually. Not bad. Push that down. I can change the color of the crown to a blue. I don't know. Blue crown, though. I guess it matches my initial ramp. So yeah, you can add in shapes here. I think the vehicles and machinery, it has like rockets, and it has wheels, and what else does it have? It has actually has a full-on car. Yeah, there's lots of stuff in here. And the scenery one, structures and scenery, has trees and stuff. So you can make your scene a little bit more scenic, right? So you could grab a tree, like if you wanted to make your mini golf course a bit more, I don't know, theme oriented, which is always a good thing. You could add some of these pieces into it. I'm just adding a couple snowy trees into mine. I can make mine like a winter wonderland theme, right? So there's my one tree. I can make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to drag out a second tree and a third tree and oops, that third tree is kind of stuck, and a fourth tree. So you can see the hard part is building the structure. The easy part is decorating it and kind of having fun with that. So I always find the decorating and making things more aesthetically pleasing a bit more relaxing than the structure part, because building the structure is hard work. What else have I got here? I haven't explored these fully, actually. I usually spend most of my time building, but it looks like there is a lot of stuff here. What is this? Crystal formation. I guess it is kind of a cold place where my mini golf course is. So I'm going to put, ooh, the crystal's huge. Way too big. So I'm just going to kind of stick the crystal on the side like that. I guess it'd be kind of like ice crystals on my design. Like that. Like I said, building the aesthetic part is a lot of fun. And you can, look, there's a floor rug there. What else we got? A fire. Ooh, could be like now I'm thinking I could have like a cozy fireplace that maybe the ball ends up on the bottom. I don't know. I'm just kind of getting some ideas here as I go along. So I could have a fire. Where would I put the fire? Ooh, that's a good idea. I could have the fire on the end of my design like that. So the ball would go underneath the fire. Yeah. And the great part about this is you can just kind of freestyle this part. It doesn't have to be, nothing has to be specific. There's no rules around what you place when you're designing the aesthetics of your, although that's floating fire. So maybe I need to lower that a little bit. And I might need to extend it. Oh, I can't extend it. Anyway, I should spend more time in these. There's lots, there's like, Tinkercad has added like so many new designs in here. I don't think they ever used to have so many. I'm looking for a winter theme on mine, so I'm trying to find some more winter stuff, but I'm not having a lot of luck. There's a castle. There's a castle piece there, so you could add like a castle, kind of a castle, bit of a castle theme to it. Oh, candy cane. I mean, that's kind of Christmas, I guess, but that is wintry. Candy canes near fire. All right. Let's grab this one out. Oops, I just duplicated my entire thing. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, bring it out, and yeah. Anyway, and like I said before, anything you do add on to it that is aesthetics, like anything that is design oriented that you add to your course, just make sure that you are grouping that together with your entire course, because when you bring that into the simulation lab, you'll have to make that static, and you could have a lot of tiny static pieces. So whatever I'm adding in here, I'm just going to hold down Shift, and I'm going to click on all the different pieces, and I'm going to make sure that I group them to the rest of the course. So if I click on the course here, everything moves as one piece. And like I said, that the reason for that is because when you bring it into the simulation lab, you don't want like a million different pieces that you're going to have to like click and make static. That's just a real pain. So grouping before you put it in the simulation lab is, I would say, it's pretty important. So let's see. I don't know. This isn't going to act any different, but it probably will look a little bit better. So you can see when it's the red kind of highlights around everything, that means that the program's thinking, and I think I've got to let it think for a while before it might be these crystals. These crystals probably have a lot of little pieces in them. So I might have to remove the crystals. See if it's kind of frozen now. I might have to, if yours ever freezes, and this can happen sometimes when you start adding more and more things, you can always come to the top and you can click enter and reload your page. Sometimes when you reload your page, it kind of resets it. Although mine is mine is still loading, so mine might take a while to actually reload. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to let that load up and take a while. I wanted to talk a little bit about some other parts of Tinkercad that are related to the microbit and then go a tiny bit into the microbit. Um, in Tinkercad, if you come back out into the regular library, which is right here, you'll also notice, by the way, to get out here, you always just click on the little rainbow icon or rainbow square in the top left corner. That's how you get out and come into the area that I'm in right now. There's also two other areas. There's circuits and code blocks, and I haven't even talked about either of these yet. So circuits, if you click on circuits, circuits is building circuits out. So you can actually, and I'm not going to get too much into it. I will show you. So let me just select this one right here. I'm just going to go into it. You can build out virtual circuits with a virtual microbit. And you can see down here, and I'm not going to go into this, but you can, have a virtual microbit. You can add lines into it. You can put LEDs in. You can put resistors in. You can put batteries in. You can put all kinds of switches, distance sensors, heat sensors, and you can build out a full-on functioning electronic piece right here. As well, if you click on the code icon on the top, you can code it. So you can code it to do whatever you want. Now, this might be a whole new session that I might get into maybe in the future with Edith Lando, but just so you are aware that it is here and there is a whole circuit portion in Tinkercad, which is really cool. Coming back to Tinkercad, clicking on the library again, there's also this code blocks. So if you click on code blocks, this is how you build Tinkercad with code. So I'll show you what this is. I'll just choose this lighthouse as an example. Now I know this looks like a lot of code. Don't worry about it. Don't panic when you see this. But what this code does, if you look at it, if I click the play button, it builds out the code over here, builds out a lighthouse for me. And you can see it runs through the code. You can see it's running through the code over here. I'm not actually doing anything. I'm not moving anything. The code is building the 3D object. So building with code is a really interesting way to build. It's totally different from building in 3D, but you can see right here, I'm not touching anything. All that's happening is the code, and I'll come down here, the code is running and it's adding things to my scene. So that is another really cool thing that CodeBlocks does, Tinkercad does, is you can build things with code. You don't even have to use 3D at all. This is my lighthouse, by the way. I know it's not a great lighthouse, but it does move around. It looks kind of like a light. So this is how you would code and build things. So this is a really amazing thing. I'll show you the speed. If I put the speed up to here, it like jumps ahead. And all that is a repeat where it goes around the axis and it spins it. You can see the code, it repeats it 200 times right here. So if I click really fast, it goes bang, 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 it builds it super fast and it spins. Yeah. So that is called code blocks. And I'm not going to get into that. That's a whole nother lesson, but just so you know it's there, there is a whole world of things to do in there. So what I'd like to do now is I'd like to go back into make code so we can work on our microbit a little bit. So come up to the top tab, open up a new tab in your on your computer and type in microbit make code, microbit make code, just up on the top up there. I'll leave it up there for a second. Hit enter. We've gone in here before. This isn't our first time. And then click on it right here. And this takes us into microbit make code. And we are in here the last two sessions. And I want you to click sign in the top right corner because you're going to sign in. I'm going to sign in using my my account. Okay, so what we were talking about was we did the servo last time. So we hooked up the servo, and I'm going to grab my microbit, and you both should have your microbit. So if you remember, and I'll unhook everything from it. Our microbit is hooked into our breakout board. So it looks like this, and it's hooked into our breakout board, which is the thing on the bottom down here. So they come apart and they're connected like that. Our microbit has, and sorry, I'm just grabbing the different pieces. It has this part on it right here, which hooks into the top, which is our connection to our computer. So you can see this just is like that. And then our USB end, which is this end, just plugs into our computer, and that will power our microbit from the top. There's also actually a power on the side, but you don't want to use the power on the side. You want to use the power on the top. Some people try and use the power on the side, and it doesn't work as well. So once you've got that plugged into your computer and it's all looking exactly like I have it here, you have a light strip. Now, the light strip I have is not like yours. It's a little bit different, but it does have an end on it. One end has these little kind of slots in it, like this. And what you want to do is you want to grab the end with the slots in it. And you'll notice on your microbit, and we talked about this last time, there's numbers right here. So there's the number 1, and there's the number 2 right here. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to take your light strip and plug it into the number 1. I'm going to plug mine in. Now, mine's a little different than yours. You want to make sure the colors match up. So you want to make sure the black is on the bottom, the red is in the middle, and the yellow is on the top. And you want it plugged into number 1 right there. You can see, sorry, I'm just trying to, everything's backwards for me. And hopefully everybody can get that hooked up. Mine is a little different than yours, like I said, but anyway, plug that in. Make sure it's all hooked up. Plug your microbit into your computer, and I'm going to move myself out of the way now because I think you're okay. Click on New Project, where it says New Project, and let's type in LED, LEDs actually, because we're running multiple LEDs. Then just hit Enter on your keyboard, and it will open up a blank microbit project with nothing in it, with our virtual microbit. Now what I want you to do is take the forever block and let's trash the forever block. Let's get rid of it because we don't want to use that. We'll get rid of it. And all we're going to have is our start block. And I'll zoom in a little bit to make it a bit bigger. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add a special block in here. So what I want you to do is come down to extensions, click on extensions. Sorry, I'll come back again. Extensions is right below math, by the way, the purple calculator. Click on extensions and come down, and there's a purple one here, or I guess maybe it's pink, and it says NeoPixel in it, and it says Adafruit NeoPixel driver. And this little thing right here, if you click on it, it adds what's called a library. And we did this last time. We added a servo library. This adds a library onto your work plane here. And you can see below math, there is now a NeoPixel library. It's right below math, and it's been added into your libraries. So once you've got that, click on NeoPixel. And up on the top, at the very top, it says set strip to NeoPixel at pin 0 with 24. This is the very first strip you should see right on the top of NeoPixel. Grab that and put it inside the start right there. So your code, it should just look just like mine. Okay, don't leave it out. If it goes gray, it's no good. It has to be inside it. Okay, once we've got that inside, we're going to come over. And if you remember, the pin we have our NeoPixel at is pin number 1. So P1. So P1 right here. The amount of LEDs you have, I don't know how many you have. Maybe you have 10? Count them up. So I think you have 10. I'm not entirely sure, but I think you have 10 LEDs on your strip. So count up how many you have, then write the number into where it says how many LEDs you have right there. I have 10 on mine. So once you've got that ready to go, what you're going to do is you're going to come back down to NeoPixel. And what I want you to do is to grab the strip show rainbow from 1 to 360. It's the third one down, 1, 2, 3, this one right here. So pull it out and put that inside the start menu. So this is gonna test if our strip works, and hopefully it should add a rainbow to it. We'll see if this works or not. So what I want you to do is come down to your 3 dots down on the bottom. Your microbit, by the way, should be plugged into your computer now. It should be red. The microbit will be glowing red. Come up to connect device right up here where it says connect device. And it says, okay, is your microbit plugged into your computer? Yes, it is. Click next. It says, okay, that's great. I need you to pair your microbit with your computer. So click on pair, and mine's not plugged in because I've actually run out of USB ports, but you should have, it should say microbit up here on the top of your computer. and you need to click on that, and a blue line will appear across it. If you click on it, a blue line will appear over top of it, and then click the connect button right here where it says connect. Okay, once you've done that, it will connect. It'll say it's connected, and all I want you to do is click download and see if it actually lights up the strip on your microbit. Did it work? Oh, sweet. Yeah, I can see it. Beautiful, right? Nice. Okay, so that's cool, but we can do better. We can always do better. So let's come into input right here where it says input, the purple line, and it says on button A pressed. It's the very top one. Pull that out, put it here. And what you're going to do is we are going to go back down to NeoPixel, which is the one we were working on. And I want you to grab 1, 2, 3, 4. I want you to grab the fourth one down, which is this one right here. Pull it out and put it inside on button A pressed. So it goes inside of it. And you can change it to any color you want. I personally like indigo. So change it to indigo. Now, this is the cool part. You've got your first piece of code. Right-click it. Or if you're on a trackpad, 2-finger press. So right-click it, and there should be a little duplicate option here. It should say duplicate. Duplicate it, bring it out, and instead it'll go ghost like this. It'll be like a ghost. Change it to button B pressed, and it will go purple again. Once you've got that, change the color again to whatever you want. I'm going to change mine to red. So I've got rainbow when I start. I've got button A indigo and button B red. Now one more. Do this. Duplicate it again. And this time, go button AB. So that's if you press the button AB at the same time. Change it again. Black, by the way, is no color. So I'm going to change mine to blue. And the final one, and this one's kind of interesting, and I'm going to show you this because it's pretty cool. If you come all the way down to the bottom, there is a one called loud sound. So if you pull it out, grab another color, put it in here. Whoops, I'm trying to grab my color, and try like yellow. This means basically when you make a noise, like snap your finger in front of the microbit, it will change it. It has a sound sensor inside of it, which is really cool. Oh, one more. I'll show you one more. You should have 4 now. I'll show you one more. Input, and there's a shake one. I'm not going to do the shake. Let's come down and let's do the logo pressed. Pull the logo pressed out. It says on logo pressed. And for that one, let's do a no color. So pull it out, and black. Black is no color. That will just reset it. Now, if you're wondering what the heck is the logo pressed, the logo pressed is this little guy on the top. It's like a gold face. So if you press that with your finger or with your hand, it will do that. So anyway, go click download and try it out. So click download, press the A button on the microbit, the actual microbit, press the B button on the microbit, press the AB at the same time, or press the logo, and it should, yeah, your microbit should respond. Remember, you have to physically press the microbit. The virtual one won't. We'll just show you virtually. So try it out. I'll leave my code up there for you so you can read it. So remember, you have to click download to re-download the code, because every time you change the code, you have to re-download the code to the microbit. And then press the buttons, press the A, B at the same time. Like if you press them down at the same time, it should alter it to that. Mine says blue. I don't know what yours says. And then if you press the little face on the top, it should remove everything off of it, which is pretty cool. Is yours? It looks like yours is working. I can kind of see it glowing. Yeah. There. Yeah. Sweet. Okay. Cool. Yeah. No, yours is working just fine. Perfect. Okay. What? Yeah, that's awesome. It's like totally working perfectly. I love it. Okay. One more thing I want to show you is that you can add sound into it. So if you click on music, where there's like two little headphones, If you on the headphones, if you come all the way down to the bottom, there is a Microbit V2 because the version you have is the new version of the Microbit. It's brand new. So music, Microbit V2, come down, and there's a thing that says play squiggly line right here. Now this squiggly line is called a wave file. So you can bring it out, and I can put it inside on button A. So when I come in and I press button A, if I click on the squiggly line, I can change a whole bunch of stuff on the line. So I can change how long it goes for. I can go to the gallery. I can try out crazy different sounds. So you can add like effects onto it. You can add triangles onto it, sawtooth, squares. So this is kind of the world of sound, which is pretty cool. There's a lot of neat stuff you can do in here. That is a lot of fun. And my students, I actually have them build like a drum beat. So you could like do this, like do a sound. Let me show you an example. So if I click on kick, let's do a kick drum. Kick drum. You do a kick drum. You do a pause. So you come down and you pause it for a certain amount of time. Then you do another kick drum. So I just go like that. So I do kick drum, pause probably for 200, kick drum, and then light. And I could every time I press the A button, it's going to go kick drum, pause, kick drum. So actually, you could build out a little kind of music machine using the Microbit, which we do sometimes in some of our classes. So yeah, I'm going to stop there because I've done a lot of talking, and you've done a lot of building. And there we go. So yeah, thanks so much for joining me on these 3 sessions. It's been awesome having you along, and hopefully you've had some fun building your creations and had some fun using the Microbit. It's awesome to see, people that are new to coding and 3D design to try this stuff out, even though, it's virtually. It's still a lot of fun for us to try this out, and I encourage you to keep experimenting with it and trying new stuff with it. Thanks so much for joining us, and have an awesome weekend coming up.